were learning Vietnamese. Which one of the 4 skills do you learn first? First, listening, yes. How old were you when you learned to listen? Sorry? Yes, there is some evidence that suggests that babies can hear their mother speaking before they are born. But we can be sure that the baby starts to listen from the time it was born. So the first skill for the baby is listening. And the baby is very good at listening. What is the next skill? Speaking. Okay, how old is the baby when the baby starts to speak? When it starts to speak, usually 1. By the time it is 2, it can say quite a lot of words. Now, opposite me, in the Kiet where I live on Paivachung Street, there is a little girl. She is more than 1, but she is not yet 2. She is very good at listening, better than any of us. And now she is speaking lots of words. She can speak Vietnamese words because her mother, her grandmother, and her great-grandmother. Her great-grandmother is very old, 85. They all teach her. I watch them and I can see them talking to her, and she talks about me. And they talk to her, and then she says the words back, and she can say them really well. And for small children, it's so easy. And for me, it's so difficult to learn Vietnamese. But she is only 2 already. Her Vietnamese is better than mine. This is because small children are the very best at listening. Because they have to learn the first language. So they listen and they speak. What's the next skill they learn? Reading? When do they learn reading? In Vietnam. When do children learn to read? Sorry? In kindergarten? Yeah, I think they do very often. They learn to read some words in kindergarten. How old are they then? Yeah, that's all right, I agree with you. And when they go to school, what else do they learn? Writing, yes. Now, I want you to think about when you started to learn English. Start to learn English. Reading, writing, speaking, listening. What skill did you learn first? Reading, writing. Not like the way you learn Vietnamese. It's a very difficult thing. There is medical research that tells us when a child is 6, the child starts to learn to use their eyes very well. Before then, of course they can use their eyes. They see what's happening. But when they are very young, children use their ears a country. It's how they learn English if they are born in my country. Listen, listen, listen. By the time they go to school, in this country, 6. Most children are 6 years when they go to school. They can already listen to and speak their language very well. And the school teaches them to read and write. And many children stop having such very good listening ability at about 6. And then they start to use their eyes. Because when we read and write, we need to use our eyes. So all of us, we're all more than 6. So for us, listening is not so easy. For small children, it's very easy. I know 2 small children very well. They speak and listen to English and Vietnamese. They are so good because both of them learn to speak and listen to English and Vietnamese every day. The second one, when I first met him, he was only 3 weeks old, not even 1 month. Since he was born, he has listened to English and Vietnamese every day. So now he's 3, nearly 4. He will be 4 in June. Now he can speak and listen to both languages, no trouble. Because he started young and heard both languages every day. When he goes to school, he'll learn to read and write. But for all of us, when we start to learn a second language, we nearly always start with reading and writing. Because now our eyes are very good at seeing letters and words and stress patterns. But our ears are not so good anymore. Not as good as when we were a little baby. You can only learn listening with your ears. It's difficult. You can only speak with your mouth. It's not easy. Because you have to be able to hear in order to be able to speak. Think about the child. First listens, listens, listens. He doesn't say any words until he hears 1. Then it starts to talk. He doesn't learn to, the child doesn't learn to speak, to read and write until maybe 6 years. For you, if you want to learn to speak, listen to English, you cannot learn listening without hearing. You cannot learn listening without hearing. You can only learn listening. These are not good. These are good for reading and writing. If you are listening to a song, you can write down words. This can be helpful. But if you want to be really good at listening and speaking, you have to practice listening and speaking. You have to use these, and this. So one find a friend and every day talk to that friend. You're using North Star. Talk to your friend about the lesson. What was the last unit, the last lesson? Talk to your friend every day. Just 10 minutes will do. If you want to improve your listening skill, you should find your friend every day and sit and talk for 10 minutes in English about the lesson that you did last week, about the lesson you're going to do next week. Don't do it in Vietnamese. Your Vietnamese, number 1. Already you are 19? 19? All of you 19? You have had 19 years to practice your Vietnamese. It's okay. It's English that you need to practice. English that you need to practice. You don't make your English better. I don't make my Vietnamese better. There are lots of things you can do, but talking with a friend every day for 10 minutes in English will improve your listening skills and your speaking skills. If you really want to improve, that's one of the things you can do. And to improve it, you should use your book. You can talk about your listening lesson, or you can talk about your speaking lesson, or you can talk about your reading lesson or writing lesson, the one you did last week, the one you will do next week. Practice the vocabulary. Practice in English. In English. 10 minutes every day will make the difference. Now, using a song like that is quite a good practice for you because you can learn to listen for words. So that, I think, for the group, it was a really good exercise for people to listen to the words and write them down. Remember, you can't learn listening except by using words. So it was a good exercise just to listen to the words, write them down, see if you can get them. Sometimes when they sing a song, the rhythm of the song makes it difficult because they use different stress patterns to make the words rhyme. Copy. Puts them in the correct order. Good. But there is one thing he could easily improve, and it probably applies to many of you. You all speak Vietnamese as your first language. One of the books I read about learning Vietnamese talks about singing the song of Vietnamese. In Vietnamese, you have many of these signs. Right? In English, we don't have them. We have different problems because our words are very much longer